morning.
Welcome back to the finca.
Indeed.
Beautiful
Beans are
day.
looking great
Yes,
this
they are.
morning. Still a little bit wet, so we're going to give them another day to dry out.
Yeah, so we're going to take this tape off. Hello Tilly. Tilly's going to knock the camera now. And then put fresh tape on the beam so we can line wash the ceiling.
Yeah.
Obviously we need the tape to stick to the beams, and if they're a little bit damp or whatever, if the oil is still wet, they might stick too much and never come off.
Yes.
If the oil
We don't
dries
want
onto them.
No.
So that'll be a mess. So basically we're just going to leave it another day now to go off a bit. But
We've got loads to do.
Always.
We've always got jobs to do, as you know.
the joys of being off grid as well.
No chance of getting bored. Welcome to Finca Live. We're Sharon and Andy, just two people with a dream and a vision of restoring our traditional stone-built farmhouse in southern Spain, transforming it into a beautiful off-grid home and sharing our journey with you.
Right, so my first job, we've got a 200 amp and a 100 amp battery here for our secondary solar system. I've just actually joined these two batteries together, so we've now got 300 amps, about 7.5 kilowatts of backup power, and we use this if we get subsequent consecutive cloudy days, as a backup to help run the stuff in the house. Saves running the generator. Generally if we run them down, they usually have sort of several days to charge back up, and it's actually been working quite well with just the 5 kilowatts, so I've sort of added another 2.5 kilowatts to it. And while I was in here, obviously I had to cut the power to sort the batteries out. I've noticed that this breaker isn't working. Luckily I've got another one. When you press the button, it should disconnect it like that to connect it back up, which would probably indicate that it's probably not going to work if needed. So I'm just going to swap this out now, put a new one on, and then that should all be good. Right, there we go. That's another one done. Yay! Test it. Yay! Happy now. Right, we can switch the panels back on and get these batteries charged up. Super, another good job, well done.
Another daily job. We need to drain the water off the olives. Can you see at the bottom of the jar there? That's how much juice has come out of them with the salt. So we need to drain it off every day. They're looking good. It's just incredible how much juice comes out of them. They're perfectly dry when I put them in the jar. After I'd washed them, I laid them out overnight on a clean tea towel. Make sure there was absolutely no moisture on them. Okay. But it works, does the job. And that's it now. Till tomorrow, I'll do it again.
Next on my list is this filter. This is a 5 micron filter. Fills our water. A bit worrying because the water we've been having delivered recently has been potable water. So I don't know what's in it. All the water we're collecting in the deposits usually goes into the IBC to be used for watering the plants and stuff. So anyway, I need to change this. What I need to do, switch the water off, depressurise it. I'm going to use the outside tap to depressurise it and save the water in the watering can. So I can swirl this out because I won't have any water on because I'll turn it off. So I'll get it done. I've also switched off the water now to the house because it'll backflow because it's higher than here, especially upstairs. So all we do is take our filter, get it ready, a little key to undo the thing. The 1 micron filter looks really clean. Don't know. I put a little bucket under it to catch it. Right, I'll go and get rid of this and get the new one in. So that just goes in there. Incidentally, when these filters get blocked or get full, they don't pass particles through, they just reduce the flow, which works quite well. We'll just tighten that up like that. Give it a tweak with the key for the difference. Stick the water back on, just plug it back in. Right on. There you can see it filling, pressurise it up. So it takes a little bit longer because you're pressurising air they're letting. There we go. Just make sure it's not leaking. Get rid of our spilt water and we're good to go. So next on my list, this is our main battery for our solar system. Lithium batteries, they generally have their own battery management system on, which stops them charging if it gets too cold. Normally it's around 4 degrees Celsius, certainly 0 Celsius freezing point. This particular battery gets a bit fussy if it falls below 10 degrees Celsius. We found out the first winter that we had it. Not an issue at all. All I do is put a blanket over it. This one in particular, it's not that cold yet, but it could get really cold overnight, and of course there's no heating in here at all. That over there, put this board on top of it, and that's him sorted for the winter. Our temperature probe here that's underneath, well, it should be underneath, yeah, it's underneath, tells me the temperature of the battery and the outside temperature as well. It's currently the battery's 20 degrees, so, but when it does get really cold, its own heat charging it up just keeps it just above the level, keeps it charging nicely. So that's that one sorted. That's in for the winter now.
So these are our poor raised beds that we've kind of neglected because we've not had anything.
Dogs.
I'll come a bit closer, hopefully you can hear me over the din. The new neighbour's just moved in, he's got about 26 dogs, all rescues. He does an absolutely fantastic job, takes on all the dogs that people won't have because they've got behavioural problems or they've got illnesses. He's a great guy, but of course Tilly's now got friends, so as soon as they start barking, she starts barking. But what I was saying was the raised bed's been terribly neglected. We've not really had anything to grow in them, but now we're going to start to try and do a bit more winter veg. I'm going to start with potatoes this afternoon, so I'm literally just doing some weeding, turning over the soil. It's lovely compost in there, so there's no reason why we shouldn't have some nice veg, so I'll crack on.
We better get Tilly back, stop him from barking.
Peace has been restored, hopefully you can hear me better now. It's Tilly's fault, she just wants to go over there and say hello, but of course they've only been here, I think the weekend they moved in officially, so not long, and they're still getting used to their new surroundings, but yeah, it's just mayhem. Anyway, that's all done, so I'm going to crack on now and plant my potatoes. It's looking better, just got to finish this one off and try and get these horrible things out. These really are. The roots go on forever. I don't know, some kind of wild grass, isn't it? But yes, it's looking much better. Ready now for our winter veg. And in here, I'm just going to plant a few more carrots. We've got those in the courtyard that are getting really big now. These are a few that we planted a couple of weeks ago now. So at the back here, now we've got rid of the melons, I'm just going to put some more in. The idea being then that we're not going to have them all at once, but it should keep us going all winter. Alf is here, Inspector Alf. should do, I think. Right, and I keep feeling a spot of rain. They have forecast more rain, believe it or not. I don't know where it's all coming from at the moment. So I better get inside before it comes down with a vengeance.
Righto, so the rains are back. It's horrible. We've got that terrible northerly wind that we get here. Absolutely biting, cutting. Unbelievably, they've got red alerts on much of the Mediterranean coast of Spain for more heavy rain and flooding. This is totally unprecedented. Once, yeah, but to come back a week or two later, the place is already devastated, so praying that it's not too bad. Malaga's particularly, Malaga region is on high red alert. Possibly they've been erring on the side of cautiousness after what's just happened, but still, we're not forecast to get much here. It's just light rain and bitterly cold. So anyway, I'm going to take this tape off here and see if we can get some line washing done. Hopefully it should be dry enough now. There we go. I'm going to start at this side just for a change, because I've always been starting over there. Variety is the spice of life, they say. Cool, right, we get this off and we'll have a look.
So this is my lovely kitchen. Absolutely love it, thrilled with it. We've got this fantastic light here that illuminates all the worktop. Going to switch it off because you won't see what I'm going to show you next. Unfortunately, my lovely cupboards here, if I open the doors, I struggle to see what's at the back there because there's no light or anything. So we had an idea. Back in the day when we were in Dolores, we used to have, because there was absolutely no light in the kitchen apart from a strip light which was at the back of me, and I used to struggle where the worktop was to prepare my food. So we bought these rather clever magnetic strip lights that work on a sensor. So if I put that just to show you, they are really quite bright. We'd forgotten about them. I'll turn it off. Couldn't find the original magnets, we probably left them back down there to be honest, but we bought this magnetic tape, if you like, off Amazon, very cheap. Works absolutely brilliantly. That sticks to that. So the idea is Andy's going to put them, if we situate them in both the end cupboards, and then hopefully it will still work when I open the middle cupboard. I might have to wait a little bit, but it should give me enough light to see what's in my cupboards. So that's exciting, isn't it?
The next operation is to now apply the tape to the wood, to the beams. Here we go again. Straight edge on that. So, and then I'm going to mix up some whitewash, some lime wash, and with a moment of truth how well it takes to this ceiling. Assuming this will stick to here, of course. It's not doing too badly. Unfortunately, there's no shortcuts or easy way of doing it. So carry on, get it done.
Right, so there we go, that was easy. And I've got light and I can see exactly what's in my cupboards. The other one's not fitted yet because we've got to charge them up. They were completely flat, as I say, I've not used them for ages, but I think that works really well. It's going to make life so much easier. Happy days.
So I've got quite a thick mix. Ideally with lime wash you should put it on thin because it can craze as it dries if it's too thick. But with it being on the ceiling, if it's too thin, it will end up everywhere, all down your arms, all down your head, the lot. So what I've done, I've soaked the ceiling through with the sprayer, and that should make it go on quite nicely without dripping everywhere. and dry without crazing. So, let's do it. The most precarious of positions. I'll just get this off this brush first. I've got a little smaller brush for doing the edging. So we'll get that done and then we'll try and wallop it. Right, we're moving down. Next batch of tape's on. Get it soaked. We try and, if you fancy doing this, we try and share our little tricks and things we've learned with you. I think it's going to need another coat up there though. Sometimes stuff that washes through after leaking for probably 85 years, the lime doesn't bond well to that, so you need to get a first coat on. If you get that to stick, then it just keep building it up. But the water really helps. It's super saturated. Right, next bit. This is the worst part of the whole roof, which is why I've chosen to do it first. I always tackle the hardest bit, the worst bit first. It's just the accessibility. I can't reach it off the steps, and I can't get right in because obviously we need a bit of angle on these. But we keep persevering on. This is taking quite nicely down here. It's just right at the top there. You see it's looking quite patchy. Get this in there. Yeah, it's actually going on quite nicely because I've got it super wet. Alright, change brushes. People suggested using a roller and things. It don't work. You've got to, like all with lime, you've got to press it in, work it right in. It enables it to stick better. So after the mission day, we've got 3 out of the 5 done. Past the halfway mark, which always makes me very happy. As anyone knows with lime wash, if you've ever used it, you cannot tell what it's like, what it's going to look like until it dries. It looks very, very patchy like that. I'm sure it's going to need a second coat, unfortunately. But we're going to leave it now till the morning, and then we're going to light the fire. We've got hens to feed, cats to feed, dogs to feed and walk, etc, etc. It's getting late in the day, it's been a horrible cold day, so we'll pick it up in the morning.
Well, the ceiling's dried out nicely. It will need another coat. It's a bit patchy in places. We've been a bit delayed this morning, unfortunately. Last night when it came to feeding time, we couldn't find little Dottie. Shouted her and shouted her, and usually she's always late. She's always the last one to turn up, but she didn't turn up. So Andy went out looking for her. Fortunately, we found her on the neighbour's windowsill in a pool of blood, quite a lot of blood. Looks like she's been fighting. She's the smallest one, but she's very feisty as our Dottie. And a big wound on her neck. One of her eyes was closed. So we brought her in, cleaned her up, put some clouds of sulphur on, which is really good for sealing it, stopping the bleeding and stopping infection. So this morning, first thing, we've had to take her to the vet. So we've left her there. They're going to sedate her and clean her up and probably need some stitches and have a look at that eye. and hopefully we can collect it this afternoon, so we'll keep you posted on that one. So for now, we crack on with this ceiling. We've not got much left to do. Hopefully get this done today.
As Sharon said, it's drying off quite nicely. It's going to need another coat. I've masked off the next bit here, soaked it through. I'm going to get another mix on and carry on. So this is one of our lime vats. We did a video on how to make this a while ago. Just going to take out some of the lime, stick it in our pot. It's thick, little bit of water in there. Whisk it up, see what kind of a consistency we've got. Just use a little whisker on a drill. Nice sunny day today. We're looking for it quite thick, but not super thick. I think a tad more water in there. It doesn't take much to change it from clotted cream to milk. So add a little bit at a time. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. You can see that. I don't know. Try and get it so you can see it. It's like sort of stays where it's put, but it's still quite runny. You have to experiment with it. Right, so get it on the ceiling. There we go, finally. It's all done. It's all had its first coat. Very unfortunately, it's gonna need another coat, but that's a good start. That's probably the hardest coat. That was a mission. That second worst job ever. The worst job was spraying the inside of that little cave.
Yes. Definitely, yes.
This is the second worst, but it's done. I think we're going to end it there, aren't we?
I think so. We're waiting for a phone call now just to go and collect Dottie, so we'll update you on her next time.
Fingers crossed, everything's alright.
She'll be alright.
Yes.
So, yeah. So thank you so much for watching.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you to all our subscribers, all our Patreons, everybody that's bought us a coffee, and we'll see you next time.